Hello everyone, Professor Toybox here, along with Kanan Jarrus from the awesome Star Wars Rebels cartoon. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I haven't done much yet with Star Wars in the Disney Infinity Toy Box, but that all changes today, because I'm beginning a brand new series based on Star Wars. Like many of you, I've finished the 3 official Star Wars playsets, and I'm ready for a new adventure. It was tough deciding what to make. Since Disney Infinity ended, there have been 3 new Star Wars movies, with another coming out in a few months. Plus, there are so many excellent stories from novels, comic books, and other video games that I could use for source material. In the end, though, what I really want to do is recreate my all-time favorite Star Wars game inside Disney Infinity, and that game is Dark Forces. The original Dark Forces game was released in 1995, right after I graduated college, so that tells you how old I am. I still have the original CD-ROM and the official player's guide containing all the level maps and a detailed walkthrough, so I've got everything I need to build this. Plus, I can still play this game on my Mac using DOSBox, so I can reference the original game when I need to, but even so, I would love to recreate this inside Disney Infinity and play through the missions in high def, so that's what I'm going to do. Creating this is going to be a challenge, and I'll talk more about that in a bit. The biggest challenge, though, is going to be the scope of this project. The original game consisted of 14 missions, and I'm planning to build all 14 of those levels. Some levels are going to require multiple toy boxes, so this is going to be a very long series. I'm not going to be able to do this entire series in one long, non-stop sequence of videos, so I'm going to have to break it up. Do a few levels, take a break, do something else for a while, then come back and do a few more levels, repeat until I'm done. Before we go too much further, let's take a look at the first mission in the original Dark Forces game so you can get an idea of what I'm going to build. I apologize for the lack of sound. The video capture program I'm using doesn't pick up the audio from DOSBox. Anyway, the first mission is an introductory mission. It takes place right before the start of Episode 4. The Rebels have been unable to acquire the plans to the Death Star, so they've hired Kyle Katarn, a rogue figure who has a partial alliance to the Rebels, to infiltrate the secret Imperial base where the plans are kept. Of course, this game was developed long before Rogue One, or even the prequel trilogy, so the developers filled in the gaps using their own imaginations. In this game, Kyle's partner, Jan Ors, drops him off on the roof of the Imperial base, which is on a planet called Danuta, and he enters the base by dropping down a ventilation shaft. The game starts with you jumping out of that shaft. And as we get started here, give me just a moment to relearn the controls. I just want to make sure I know which keys on my keyboard I need to move, strafe, and shoot. There we go. This was so cool when I first played it. This game was considered by many to be the pinnacle of the first-person 3D shooter in the mid-1990s. Up until this point, most 3D shooters were basically 2D horizontal games rendered in 3D. Doom added some height variation of floor surfaces, but it still didn't have basic things like bridges where you could walk under or over another floor surface. Now we've upgraded to a blaster. Yeah, that's better. Anyway, the developers of Dark Forces broke that limit. This was the first time anyone could actually walk around inside the world of Star Wars, so they wanted to make it feel real to the players, and I think they achieved that. This was the first game I ever played that felt like a true 3D game, where you can walk over or under areas, look up and down, jump on and off various surfaces, and actually interact with various objects in the game world. Now we're outdoors. We've got to run across this area fast before the sentries on the wall start shooting at us. Yeah, there's the sniper there. Now we go upstairs and get the red key from the... Oops, wrong button. Get the red key from the Imperial officer. There we go, got the key. Now we'll make our way down the elevator and out the other side. This mission takes place at night, which is one of the reasons it's so dark. Oh yeah, can't open the door directly. I need to press the switch. Whoa, someone's shooting at me. There we go. Let me make sure there's no one else out here to dispatch. Just that guy on the roof, but he won't bother me once I go inside. Oh, there we go again with the door. Okay, so we're back in. Now where's that locked door? Ah, there it is. And take the elevator up. There's 2 stormtroopers up here to deal with. And this mousy robot. Press C to crouch down to his level, and bam! If you shoot him, he coughs up a battery, which you'll need in later levels to power some of your gear. This wall switch opens a door below, so we'll drop down and head on in. You can see there are curved walls and doors and stairs, angled wall surfaces, and other architectural features that I can't recreate in Disney Infinity, so I'm not going to be able to reproduce the levels in this game exactly. On the other hand, I can do a lot in Disney Infinity that the original Dark Forces game couldn't do, like lightsaber duels and space combat, so that's not a bad trade-off. Still, I think I can adhere to the general layout of the level maps and make them look pretty good in Disney Infinity. This Death Star projection was pretty cool looking at the time. It's actually a bit of a decoy because the plans we're looking for are in a vault at the other end of this corridor. Just need to shoot the Imperial officer behind this console, and then we can come over here and flip the switch that opens the vault, like so. And there it is, the data card containing the Death Star plans. Now to get out of here. Fortunately, there's an elevator back here that'll take us back up to the roof. Man, I don't remember it being so tough to aim in this game. Of course, I think I had a joystick back in the day, which would have made this a bit easier. Okay, now to take the elevator up. And as I recall, those tricky game developers put the exit behind me. Yep. And 2 more stormtroopers to dispatch. There we go. And there comes Jan Ors and my ship to pick me up. So that's the original first mission. Of course, as I said, this game came out before Rogue One, so the story in this first mission goes against what is now considered canon. I'm going to try to stay as faithful to the original game as I can, but I may take some liberties along the way, and the first mission is one instance where I'm going to deviate significantly from the original Dark Forces game. Now that we've seen Rogue One, we know that the Death Star plans are kept in the Citadel Tower on Scarif, not in a secret base on Danuta. We also know that Scarif is protected by a shield gate, so there's no way Jan Ors could drop us off or pick us up. So for my toy box, I'm going to change the setting for this mission, as well as how we arrive at the base and how we leave it. But other than that, I'm going to follow the storyline for the original Dark Forces game, rather than the Rogue One movie. Oh, and since we don't have Kyle Katarn or Jan Ors in Disney Infinity, I've decided to substitute the Star Wars Rebels crew for Kyle, Hera Syndulla for Jan Ors, and the Ghost for Kyle's ship. So our heroes are going to arrive on Scarif by stowing away on this cargo ship. And as we come out onto the planet Scarif, I will show you around what I've got here. The cargo shuttle that we see here. Oops, I'm going to get around these pipes so you can see it. This design is from 72 Pringles video, and I'll include a link to that in my video description and on my blog so that you can see how to build that. So I don't want to focus too much on that today, but rather I'm going to give you a quick tour of Scarif and what I've got here so far, and really like how this is turning out. So there's not really a whole lot to build here. I've got a head start on building this, and there's nothing really significant that I've done. The building exercise is easy, and I'll give you a bird's eye view from Spark mode here shortly, but for now I'll give you a tour from ground level. So we come over here to the entrance to the transit rail system, and I've already built a couple of these, but we're going to do a video on this because I got one more to build, and I've saved that so I can do a video on it to show you how I put this together. And we ride the rail over to Citadel Tower, and I'm going to do a video that shows you how to build that as well. So here we arrive at the main island where the Citadel is, and there's going to initially be a door that's blocking the entrance to that. And we'll have to go over to that island and over to an island over there to find two terminals that we can hack into that will open the door for this citadel. And then once we've opened the door, we'll go inside and there will be an interior toy box for that. And when we come out, we'll be on the back side of the citadel, and we can hijack a TIE fighter here and try to make our escape. But there's going to be a Star Destroyer up there and another one over there that will be launching TIE fighters that will try to stop us in a last-ditch effort to prevent our escape with the plans. And as soon as we destroy those TIE fighters, that will be the end of the first mission. And so that's what I've got here. And I'll give you a quick little tour of this, because I know about a third of my subscribers or so, from what I've gathered, seem to build my toy boxes in their own so they can have some new things to play with. So I want to make sure you have a good look at this. It's not real critical here with these islands that you reproduce these exactly. There's nothing really critical here. So I don't want to spend a whole lot of time building this. That's why I did this in advance. But basically these blocks here, if we come over into the drawers, that's going to be these blocks over here, namely this one. And I've got 6 of those to build this landing platform. And then the edges are using these blend pieces here. And for the texture for this, I'm using the kiln texture here, which is from the Escape the Kiln Disney Infinity 2.0 game. And then for the sand, I'm using the Tatooine desert texture. I was going to use the Pirates sand texture, but that had little treasure map things on it, and it looked a little out of place. All of these trees are the first 9 pieces in the plants drawer here, which I have customized using the Pirates theme, and just mixed those in to kind of create a nice little border. And then around the edges, I finished those off with some slopes to kind of give it a nice look. You're not going to see these when you're on the ground, but when you're flying the TIE fighter around in the air, you might see this, and it might look kind of strange having square, choppy edges. So that's why I put those finishing touches on. Whether they stay on or not will depend on whether I have enough memory to finish this off. This is also one of the customizable pieces in the plants drawer, and it's customized for the kiln engine room. And I got some pipes and some other little decorations here. This bunker, which is the entrance to the transit rail system, I'm going to show you how to build that when I show you how to build the rail system. So I don't want to spend a lot of time on that today. And then over here is the main island, which is a little larger because it has to accommodate the citadel. And I'll give you a good look at this. And feel free to pause this video at any time so you can get a closer look at things. Not really too much to show here. Again, this was a pretty easy build. There's not a lot of logic to this, so that's why I went ahead and built this ahead of time. Figured I didn't want to waste your time just watching me put these things together when you can see the end result and duplicate this pretty easily in your own toy boxes. The main things you'll need help on are the rail system and the Citadel tower, and I'll show you how to build those in another video. This island over here, I have not put the rail system in on this yet, so that's what I'm going to do in an upcoming video so you can see how I put it together. And there, of course, going to be a lot of stormtroopers all over the place. I don't have those in yet. I've got a little walker over here to kind of break up the combat a little bit so you can jump in him and have fun blasting the stormtroopers with one of their own weapons. I love that part of Toy Box Takeover, and so that's what I did there. But you come around the bend and there's another tower over here, and this is one of the Coruscant buildings, which kind of matches the towers that you see in the pictures of Scarif when you go to build it. And there's the terminal that you'll have to hack into to open up the blast doors for the tower. And then the other island over here will have the other blast door terminal that you have to hack into. And I'll give you a quick look at that. I've got another building from the Coruscant building sets over here, which also matches the towers that you kind of see in the Scarif scenery. And this island's set up very similar to the one you start on with the landing pad. These are another customizable piece in the plants drawer, the Fantasy Terrain Corner 1, I think. And this is the part of the kiln engine room. And some kiln crates and little mechanical pieces. And the terminal you have to hack into is over here. Of course, I'll put in some enemy generators and all kinds of obstacles and things here. So anyway, that's Scarif, and in the coming videos I'll show you how to build the transit rail system, the tower. We'll have another video for the interior for the Citadel Tower with the vault containing the Death Star plans. And then we'll be able to play through this video in its entirety so we can see how the first mission in Dark Forces comes together inside Disney Infinity. So I hope you've enjoyed this video and this preview of my Scarif toy box. I've been working on this series behind the scenes for almost 6 months now, and I'm excited to finally get started. Hopefully you're as thrilled as I am to have another Star Wars adventure to play through. This is going to be a lot of fun. Go ahead and subscribe to my channel or sign up on my blog to see what we do next in this series. You can find build tips and logic diagrams on my blog as well for the different challenges that we make. And for now, this is Kanan and I signing off from Scarif, and we'll see you next time.